Welcome, AGP students. This is Rob Jensen with Avant-Garde Prep, and this lesson is called Enriching Your Extracurriculars. This is lesson 3 of the AGP Leadership course. One thing today, just kind of brief you on, is that I'm doing a different type of presentation style. It's called Prezi. It's kind of to be a little more different, a little more interactive in a sense than the normal PowerPoint and such. So I thought about moving to this to hopefully kind of liven up the presentation a little bit to make it a little bit more enjoyable for you. So, but today's, like I said, is enriching activities, and we're trying to better understand what you're involved with and what does it mean for you, and how can you make this all this experience in what you have with these activities a bit deeper in a sense in your preparation for college. So. As a high school student, many of you are quite involved in the sort of things that are maybe inside your school or out. You may be in a team or individual sport, or maybe you're participating in a service group or part of some individual activities that are attached to your high school or something. Maybe you're on an executive board where you're actually helping to influence the policy or making decisions or putting things into place that certainly meets or serve for a greater benefit than just yourself. So, but it's important to understand that these high school activities in which you're involved with, which most likely consume a great deal of your time, it may be even more so than what you kind of spend outside or inside the classroom, and that's hopefully you'll understand what you're getting out of this experience. Too often I ask high school students, what are you most involved with? And they tell me, oh, I'm involved with this sport or this band or this activity, and I'm saying, well, what are you getting out of the experience? Tell me about it. And too often they really can't fully articulate what it is that they're getting out of that experience. And hopefully through Avant-Garde Prep, the purpose is that you will be able to communicate that very effectively. So kind of continuing on, with these extracurriculars, why participate? What is the benefit of this, and what do colleges look for in students who are applying, and specifically at their extracurriculars in a sense. Extracurriculars really can be anything that's outside of the classroom. It can be a particular hobby of yours. It can actually be an organized group or something in which you're a part of. It really can be something in which you spend time with and kind of developing your self-interest of yours in a way. But in which that could go on your application. So if you fly, airplanes in a sense, model airplanes for fun, but maybe you're not a part of a group, well, I mean, still that's an activity that you can put down and something that you're part of and have on your application to kind of indicate the type of person that you are. But why participate? As I mentioned, you kind of further your self-interest, something in which you really enjoy spending time doing and want to be a part of. Learning more about yourself. What sort of person are you, and the sort of skills that you're developing out of this, giving you more opportunities to put those things into practice in a way. Maybe you're creating friendships in a sense. You're being a part of or around people who are maybe very much like-minded like you in a way, tend to agree and like a lot of the things what you do, but also maybe around people that you don't necessarily agree or see a whole lot of common interests with, and that can certainly be a good thing too, because as we go through life, we're not going to have individuals in which we always come into contact with that we're going to agree with, and learning how to coexist with them is always a good skill in which one can work on. So, and a benefit, so that could, a benefit is something in which you are getting in return. Either it's something tangible or intangible, but it's you're getting some sort of gain out of this experience. Hopefully you're extending your network. The sort of people in which you're coming into contact, their parents, other people in a sense who are a part of the experience. But that you're meeting other individuals who may be able to some point help you out down the line in some ways. Maybe someone who could possibly serve as a mentor someone who you kind of look to and turn to and some advice, at times, and who can provide a different perspective on how you may choose to go about a particular situation. Maybe you're getting some team accolades or some awards or something, or maybe it's individual ones that you are achieving certain things out of the experience and meeting certain goals. Sorry about that. Um, but that you're gaining some accolades from it, something in which you can further put down. And then kind of depending on the activity, the sort of intrinsic value that you're getting. So the intrinsic means something internal gratitude in which you're getting, the sort of joy, fulfillment that you as an individual are getting out of this experience. And but lastly as well too is the sort of pride in which you are, maybe for your family, for the community or something. I know recently some local teams have won some state championships, and that doesn't only just serve to fulfill your sort of experience, but the school is a part of that, the community is a part of that, and that's something that can come out of that. So what are colleges looking for? Colleges want to see students who are involved, who have demonstrated leadership and service in a sense. They believe that they see an applicant that there's evidence of this in their application in a way that this will continue to carry on into their college years. Colleges want to see students who are making a difference, being leaders, being impactful in the way in which they're doing things and creating, and making a difference. So they want to see that you're well involved, that you're committed, that you've done service in a sense, and the more in which there's evidence of that, of you doing that, the more excited in which they are as about the applicant and the possibilities that those sort of skills will continue on in the individual's college years. So peer leadership, there's something in which we will discuss more about in the future lessons, in which we'll specifically work to kind of hone and refine these sort of skills. But I did want to touch on it just a little bit today, but more in fact the sort of questions in which you should be asking yourself. How are you viewed among your friends? If you were to ask them, what do you think about when you think of me, what would their response be? Are you someone who can be seen that has the ability to get people together and to gather them and to kind of organize them in a way and help create a plan of action, and then being able to put that plan into place and then being able to successfully meet those objectives? Or are you someone that maybe is kind of aloof or something, or doesn't seem all that committed in a way? But the important thing is to try to see how you're viewed upon your friends in a way, and those that are around you, and how can you, and if you don't necessarily like what may come from them, how can you may possibly change that? The other thing is what kind of opportunities exist at this very moment in the activities in which you're involved with, that you can better define your role and expand on it. One of the things as an individual in leadership is that these individuals are always looking to make a change, make a difference, or looking to expand their roles in which they can continue to grow in the sort of responsibilities that they may have. So, and in sort of the activities in which you're involved at this very moment, you should be able to see that in a way. So next we're going to talk about service and what does this mean to you in a way. And first off, it's like a lot of students are asking, what is service? What can I count as service hours, or what did I do? And I believe service is any sort of activity that either you do on your own or a part of a group that benefits another person or a group of persons, where no tangible benefits are expected in return to you. So anything in which you do, maybe you're out helping a neighbor or something, an elderly person, kind of remove some weeds from their yard, or maybe you're helping to gather up some clothes for a donation drive, and you're gathering those together and putting them in a box or something. So all that time what you kind of spend doing those sorts of things can be counted in a way towards your service. Too often, many students tend to almost leave out in a way the number of hours in which they've actually accumulated, and they only think of service in the traditional sense. Oh, I'm out on the side of a highway, gathering some trash or this or that or something of that nature. When there's really a lot of things in which you do as an individual that can constitute as a service in a way. But why should you participate? Why should you be a part of this in helping to do service? And there's a few reasons I have. One is I'm always a part of, and something I'm advocating is learning more about yourself, understanding what it is that you're doing, and the sort of skills in which you're putting into place at that very moment. Understanding how this is benefiting you internally in a sense to creating a skill set in which you have. Also, I always encourage individuals to get involved in service activities that may potentially lead to a career or something, or something around it in a way, something in which can give you exposure, give you the sort of experience to help you better understand what it is that you're doing and what you may want to continue along to study with in college and possibly a career later on in a way. Also, as I'm always, advocating for is mentorships. Meeting and coming into contact with people who can give you some additional advice and guidance on things, help you to accelerate your learning curve to where you don't have to necessarily go through life and having to make this sort of mistakes and then learn from those mistakes and then to move forward, but instead getting good, sound advice from people who can help to guide you through and minimize the sort of time that's needed, that is to for you to learn something and to kind of move forward or become more refined in a skill set in a way and such. And knowledge is power, and there's so much knowledge that can be learned from the individuals that are out there and to kind of help you along the way. But most importantly is improving your community. Doing something that you are making it a better place to be a part of and to live in a way. Your impact may be small in the beginning. Maybe it's only helping a person or a few people in a way, but it's a start, and it's something in which you're doing to help to make this place a better place to live in. And so to kind of to be involved with that and seeing about doing that. You may not all go out there and create your own organization or something or start something of that nature, but to be able to have a small part of change in which you're able to be a part of. But colleges love this. They love seeing that. They love seeing that students who are doing this and participating at that level, and the sort of influence that they may have, and that their idea is that once again that will continue along into your college years, and then hopefully eventually that you will be a good citizen once you've thus graduated and become a part of the workforce and such. So how much should you be doing service? For my review of scholarship applications for 6 years, I mean at a minimum, well, I mean on average I saw about 150 hours and such what students would do. I don't want to say that you have a minimum in which you must do, but which is more important is that you're deeply committed to a service organization, or two, and that you do that for a long time. That's always more well received in a way if you're a part of something that's, say, for 2, 3, 4 years or whatnot, and you can see the sort of commitment you've made to making a change, and it's more better so than doing 2 or 3 hours in this one organization and another few hours in this other organization and this and that. And yeah, they may accumulate to a lot of hours in the end in a way, but what are you getting out of that? And the sort of things that you can get out of that is the sort of commitment, the sort of mentorship, the sort of skills and things in which you have the ability to work on and refine in a way. You may get some reference letters out of it, but I always encourage that. And then lastly is the 3 W's of way in which people can kind of indicate or demonstrate their service. One is through work, which is traditionally what you'll see from you all. Your time in which you're choosing to give up and to help a person or a group of persons. The other one is wealth. being able to financially commit money to helping a cause in a way. And this is, some people, maybe they're not in a position in their life where they can really give their time and things, but maybe they're quite busy with their employment and their family and this and that. So they do want to make a difference, in a way in which they can is through the money in which they can contribute to a cause. And then lastly is wisdom, the sort of knowledge in which an individual has. And traditionally, like I said, you're not going to see too many um, individuals of your age being able to contribute through wisdom. I mean, these individuals have an expertise in an area. Maybe they're an accountant, maybe they're an event planning coordinator, maybe they're a graphic artist and such, can do certain things, or maybe they're part of PR, public relations, and social media, in which they can do, but they're donating their services, their expertise, to help benefit a cause or some sort. So this next slide is about, and it's a few minutes long, this little short video clip, but it's a movie called Paying It Forward, and I believe it's a little over 10 years old, so you may have not have seen it, but it's an excellent movie, and I really encourage you to Netflix it or look it up online or whatnot. But it's a moving it's a movie that's quite moving in a sense, and really encourage you. But it talks about passion and making a difference and implementing change much more eloquently than what I can really describe. But I think you'll really enjoy this.
What does the world mean to you? Your house, your street? Any further any of you want to go than that? Why should we think about the world? I mean, after all, what does the world expect of us? What does the world expect of you? What if the world is just a big disappointment? Unless you take the things that you don't like about this world and you flip them upside down, you can start that today. This is your assignment.
And that's 3 people, and I'm going to help them do it for 3 other people, and they do it for 3 more. But it has to be something really big, something they can't do by themselves. So I do it for them.
Lost your car? That's a key observation. I can help you. If you're in a brand new Jaguar and you don't want anything, pay it forward. Read the cables for the other. That's it.
I'm sorry. You can't plan it. Yeah. You have to watch people more. Yeah. Sort of keep an eye on them. To protect them. They can't always see what they need. It's like your big chance. Fix something that's not like your bike. You can fix a person.
It's possible. The realm of possibility exists where? In each of you. So you can. You can surprise us. It's up to you. Trevor has made an attempt to interact with the world. And that was the assignment.
What you ever did to change the world?
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, that's movie clip in a way is does really well to kind of to explain paying it forward and what it means to kind of do that. And it's a nice little way of for you as an individual to kind of say, I'm doing this, I'm paying it forward. I'm giving something, or I'm giving my time, or I'm doing this in a way to kind of help benefit these other people, and that in an extension that they will in return kind of spread that along to others. And it's just a nice little concept, and something that we used to always use and to our students, and that I used to programs I had in college and such, and would try to instill that within them. So, but we'll talk about that more in class and kind of further explore it. But as I mentioned, the purpose for today was, actually is developing purpose in your activities, understanding what they are. What are you learning? What are you getting out of this experience? You spend so much time doing these sorts of things. It's good for you to look back and reflect. What am I getting out of this? Am I working on my leadership skills in a way? Am I working on how to work with others and to pull them together for a cause? Am I working on my sort of skills in which I have to exercise my analytical skills or something, or my ability to arrange and organize things? Or am I working on a way and to kind of create a positive environment and with others or something? So kind of looking at that and understanding that, and how does it supplementing your education, understanding what sort of things that you're learning in that environment, and how does that necessarily carry over to your academic environment, and how does that carry over to your personal relationships in which you have. One of the things that I always like to talk about is sort of preparation in which you're taking to your activities. The ability, the things in which you do to prepare for your activities, whether it's practice, whether you're learning new sheet music, whether you're gearing up for a meeting or something of that nature. What do you take, the sort of approach that you have to make sure that it goes well and that you're getting something out of that time that you're spending? And all that can actually go towards your academics, skill sets too, and the habits that you're creating there is your preparation, what you're trying to do to get ready for your study, and what you're trying to help make sure that you are getting out of the time which you spend trying to learn certain content, and that you're making it beneficial for your time. Individual skills that you're getting, the opportunity to kind of certainly refine those skills, putting things into practice, understanding what you need to intentionally do during that time to help you better work on certain things. But more so is, how does this prepare you for college and identifying a career and eventually being a part of things, and maybe you're not a part of something that's helping you for your career for college, but then getting involved with those things. Maybe you do need to make a change and rearrange some of the priorities that you have, and that you're understanding that you're not doing things so much to help you at this very moment, but you're doing things to kind of help you in your time in the future in a way, and that you're constantly looking towards the future, and that you have an idea of how these things are working towards that. So lastly, strengths. We'll continue to work on strengths, better understand the strengths in which you have as an individual, and seeing how they help to benefit you in a way. And really, as I like doing, is that you're putting a label to something in which you know that you can do well, and helping you to better understand how you can put those things and exercise those things more, and putting them into practice. So looking at the activities that you're involved with now, what sort of evidence exists at this very moment that a strength is a part of it in a way? One of the examples that I really like to use is my poker league, in a sense, or just arranging any sort of competitional event that I may have. And the evidence of that goes all the way back to 7th grade. I think I've told you, when I started a ping pong league within my neighborhood. There's maybe, I can't remember, 10, 12, 13 kids who were a part of it, but we were running weekly tournaments in a way, and that really plays to my ranger skill, which I did and such. So seeing that there's evidence of it, and recognizing where you can possibly use the strengths within the sort of activities that you're doing. My developer skill, in a sense, understanding that recognizing that poker is another opportunity, another venue for me to bring in people to kind of organize into this organized league, that maybe not be so skilled at it, but giving them the opportunity to bring them in and help them along and developing certain skills within the game and such, and becoming better players, which they'll want to come more, enjoy the experience more. Thus, they're meeting all these other guys that are in this league and such, and other females too. But giving them an opportunity and recognizing that, and then creating goals for yourself, understanding how you can possibly implement that in a way. So if it's positivity in what you have, understanding that, okay, today and this, if something was to arise, in practice it doesn't go so well, I'm going to make sure I want to speak out and I'm going to say something that's, positive in a way. Before anyone that can say something negative, I'm going to try to set the tone by saying something positive. And you can look for those things, create goals for yourself, and then implement those goals, understanding that whether they're being done or they're not being done. And if they're not being done, maybe you need to evaluate how you can better implement that, or what you need to do, or just, maybe it's just building up the courage to say something or to do something in a way. But looking for a way to get involved with that, and maybe if you're having or lacking some courage, maybe recruiting someone to kind of help you along. Maybe you ask a teacher, say, you know what, or a coach, I really want to become more vocal in a sense. Can you maybe call on me at times and put me on the spot to do that, or help me along in doing that? So, but looking how you can, putting those things into action and getting them done. So as I always finish the lessons, you can tell I always like to leave you off with an inspirational quote, and I think this one has a lot of meaning to it in a way, and it will hopefully encourage you to put things into action, to do something in which you want to do and maybe you've been putting off for a while, and to give you the courage to do it. So if you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. And I think this is so true in so many ways. If you want to make a difference, you can find a way to make a difference. If you want to make a difference in the activities in which you're involved with, and the sort of skills and everything else in which the experience in which you're getting out of it, find a way to make that happen in ways. And hopefully what you're learning through this is certain knowledge in a way, certain tools that can help you, but that I'm equipping you in a way to make sure that you're better understanding the experiences in which you're a part of, and that you're finding a way to make things happen, which is ultimately what we're looking for. So thanks again. I'm looking forward to our next class, in which we'll have again shortly, and looking forward to the sort of activities and the responses and the involvement and participation in which I get out of you all. So thanks again. Have a good day.